what's up you guys, this is Rob from Gay Guy Plays, and today on Return Fire, we talk about slash procs, builds with no primed mods, go over some of my dress to kill looks that you've requested, and most importantly, explain what the fuck Return Fire is. Now let's start with a question from Helix Cards on my Physical Damage Mods Part 2 video. They ask, does the slash damage mod affect the amount that the target bleeds? Now, this question is a bit tricky. If you're asking how much damage they bleed per tick, then no, it does not. The only types of mods that affect that would be base damage mods like Serration, Heavy Caliber, Hornet Strike, and etc. I did a little testing and Bane mods and critical triggers do affect this as well, but additive mods like Elemental and Physical Damage mods do not. But, if you're asking me if it affects how often they bleed, then in an indirect RNG kind of way, yes they do. By increasing a weapon's damage type, you increase their chance to apply that damage type status effect. So, if you increase a weapon's slash damage, you'll increase their chance to score a slash proc whenever your weapon applies a status effect. Keep in mind that this mechanic works for any damage type, viral, corrosive, blast, etc. Moving along, on my Arcane Armor build for Inaros, Philip Nadbala, which I'm sure I butchered that name, says, I would love to see one build with no primed mods. Now, a couple people have already responded to this, but in the past I have had other people ask me to create builds without the use of primed mods, so I feel the need to publicly put out my stance on this. As a Warframe YouTuber, I have a responsibility to put out what I feel is the most optimized build for a Warframer weapon. And to be honest, Prime mods can dramatically shift a build. An example, Prime Continuity, which provides a 55% duration increase. In certain builds, you can replace the Continuity and Constitution combo, which only add up to a 58% duration increase. Now, this frees up a mod slot, which can be used for many things, like ranged mods, power strength mods, or an ability augment mod. In that case alone, it can completely change the way a Warframe performs. So, due to the fact that I wouldn't put out a full-length review on a Warframe that I only ranked up to level 10, I wouldn't put out a build that I felt didn't fully display the power of a frame. However, for those of you without Prime mods, unless it's an extremely niche build, you can usually get away with using the non-Prime versions, until of course you manage to get your hands on the real deal. Now, let's break things up a bit. I've got the color schemes for several Warframes I've featured that people will not stop bugging me about. I get it, you want to see Saren Prime, even though the color scheme is basically the same as every other Prime I've ever put out in the last 6 months. But fuck it, let's get dressed. So, last but not least is a question that I posed in this very video itself. What the fuck is Return Fire? Well, hopefully you kinda get it. These are basically Warframe related questions that are frequently asked in my comment section. Questions that I couldn't make a full-length video out of, but I still think need to be addressed on a greater level, as I think they'll benefit our community. Probably, maybe, I don't know, but I hope you like it. Now, I am only planning on doing this once a month, specifically because I have a bigger project that I want it to alternate with, which hopefully, time permitting, will happen at the end of every month or at the beginning of it, depending on how the weeks align. But don't hold me to that, because I am still working on that format. So that about does it for this installment of Return Fire. Do me a big favor and give this a thumbs up if you like this format. In addition, if there are any Warframe related questions that you've seen floating around that need to be answered or just addressed on a larger scale, leave them in the comment box below. Note, keep that drama shit out of here, don't tempt mama, because while some people flex with that banhammer, she has got one mean backhand ban, and trust me, you don't want to fuck with that. Regardless, stay drop dead gorgeous and educated as fuck.